The FMS is powered on with the on-off dim key. This initiates the FMS's power on self-test and brings up a test page that shows each item being tested and its pass-fail status. You do not need to monitor this test. If the FMS has a critical failure during the power on self-test, it will stop the test with a failure next to the failed component. If that happens, turn off the FMS, wait 10 seconds, and turn it back on again. If this does not clear the fault, the FMS needs maintenance. In the event of a non-critical failure, the self-test will continue and a message will advise you of the problem. After a satisfactory test, the initialization page, or init page as it is called, appears. An FMS message alert will be flashing on the FMS and your instrument panel. Pressing the message key opens the message page and stops the alerting. If there is a minor problem, such as nav database fail, that message will show up here. You will always get a position uncertain message along with the amber position indication in the top left corner. These indications appear prior to completion of initialization. You may return to the init page either by pressing the message key again or by pressing the return line select key. Be aware that the message page shows new messages in white text and retained messages in green. If we were to return to the message page now, you will see that the position uncertain message is now green. These colors may differ in some installations. Next, ensure the GPS is online. The initial position will be the coordinates of the aircraft when the FMS was last shut down. Once the GPS comes online, those coordinates will be updated to the GPS position. Normally, the GPS comes online about 10 seconds after the FMS brings up the init page. Notice here it says WAS. That means that in some form, GPS signals are being received, regardless of whether or not you are in the WAS region, another SBAS region, or outside of any SBAS region. If your GPS won't come online, you will get one of two messages. The first is GPS not nav, which means that the GPS system in the FMS is working, but that it has not been able to receive any satellites for the past 3 minutes. That could be due to your parking location or a maintenance issue, such as a loose cable from your GPS antenna to the receiver. The other possible message is GPS fail. This means that the GPS chip within the FMS has failed and requires maintenance. With dual FMSs, the FMS with the failed GPS can see the working GPS in the other FMS. Whether or not you can fly with one of the GPSs failed is determined by your aircraft's minimum equipment list. Next, check your nav database expiration date. If it has expired, you will need to load a current database. The final step is to enter your initial coordinates, date, and time. The best method to do this is to accept your GPS coordinates, date, and time by pressing the Accept line select key. However, I will briefly mention 3 other methods. First, if your GPS does not come online due to parking, you can enter your coordinates directly, followed by a date and time. If they need to be changed, do so here. Otherwise, if the date and time are correct, you can accept them both now. If you need to do this frequently, for example, if you regularly park inside of a hangar where you have difficulty getting GPS satellites, you can create an alignment point. When initializing the FMS, enter the name of the alignment point and press Accept. The creation of alignment points is discussed in another module. It is not advisable to enter an ARP in this field for the following reasons. Let's see why this is a bad technique. SBAS will acquire the position of the aircraft at its current parking location and present that position to the pilot for initialization. If the pilot decides to place the airport identifier in the ID field in lieu of the WAS position, the coordinates of the airport reference point will be used to initialize the FMS. These coordinates will also be transmitted to the IRS if installed and in align mode. A significant error has been intentionally introduced into your navigation system. Now the FMS has two sources for its position, the ARP and the SBAS position. With this position information, the FMS calculates its circle of position to include both points. This circle could be very large depending on the distance of the aircraft from the ARP. If the aircraft were to take off with a circle of position larger than the RNP for the terminal phase of flight, a position uncertain message will appear. With time, the FMS will reduce the size of the circle of position to the horizontal protection levels of the SBAS, and the FMS position will become the SBAS position. This, however, could take some time. Using the SBAS position for the initial position will avoid this and is strongly recommended, which is exactly what we are going to do. Verify the displayed position, date, and time are correct, and press Accept to initialize the FMS to the displayed data. Also displayed on the init page is your FMC version, also known as the Software Control Number, or SCN. For multiple FMS installations, there will be other cross-fill options shown on the init page. In the upper right corner is a boxed M. This means that this page has a menu which can be reached by pressing the menu key. It will take us to the Disk Menu page. On this page, you can load your nav database. We will come back to this page later. Once you exit the init page, to functions other than message, menu, or tune, you cannot return without cycling power.